2022 Hot 6 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
GSL Super Tournament continues on. Another 3-0. Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's not the result I expected coming into today. I thought the matches today would be a lot more close than they were on day one, but I guess these are all really one-sided matchups somehow. I don't know, man.
Now, one that I thought could be one-sided coming into this was Dark versus soO. soO's very good, but Dark is so strong ZVZ nowadays.
Yeah, and soO's had a bit of a rough go of things coming back from military service, too. He's one of those players like Classic that is struggling to kind of adjust to the new meta and regain his old form, because this was one of the best Zergs in the world a long time ago when he was an SKT Zerg player, but of late, it's been a bit of a struggle for him to come back.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was...
goatee.
It's like, wait, who is
Look at
this?
that. It's like a young Korean Tasus over here. What's going on?
It is.
He's definitely going to 3-0 now.
That's a baller goatee, man. You think if he loses, he's going to shave it?
No. No, he's going to become a painter is what he's going to do with facial hair like that. You're going to tell me this guy was a professional photographer, I would have been like, of course, look at him. All right,
nice
I dig the new look.
Yeah, I didn't recognize Dark at first. Yeah. I was like, wait, who is this guy in the booth?
Is that one of the camera guys down there, like getting ready to play?
Is somebody like doing tech support on his PC right now? Like, what's going on? But yeah, Dark should be the heavy favorite in this matchup, I think. I mean, soO, we've just been kind of waiting for him. He has a million second-place GSL.
Well, this was like one of the big narratives with GSL was that, he kind of, the first Zerg player in the world that this was happening to was named Yellow, and he was always losing to Slayer's Boxer, and soO is sort of the StarCraft 2 Yellow, where, we kind of hoped that he would eventually become a champion. It hasn't happened. It's become a bit of a curse, and frankly, the curse has only gotten worse because now this guy doesn't get to finals anymore.
It was like 5 or 6 GSL finals that he ended up getting second place in, which, I mean, even reaching that many finals is a feat in and of itself.
Absolutely. Many players get to one finals and never get there again.
It's going to be a lot of work for him to...
They get there and lose to Rogue or Maru, and then they never return.
It's going to be a lot of work for soO to get up to that level again. It's not something that comes easily. There's a reason why it's rare for players to really succeed on that level. And we'll see if he has some improvement coming into this series against Dark, but man, Dark is just such a killer, and especially in a mirror matchup, it can be really hard to get an edge. It's so technical, right?
Yeah, it's a lot about what happens in the early game and, can you deceive them? Data C to start things off, Dark versus soO. Now, Dark has been a god for a long time in StarCraft 2.
Absolutely.
And the fact of the matter is he just hasn't fallen off. He's still incredibly strong. And still incredibly hungry to move up to the top and take another championship.
He's remarkably consistent. It feels like every single tournament that he's in, he's gunning for, if not a finals spot, then a quarterfinal or a semifinal spot.
Right.
We're getting ready to load up Data C, Zerg versus Zerg here.
More like GSL. Data Z, am I right? All right, we're ready. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh,
Game
man.
Start.
We're almost at 5,000. That number? You notice they put a number up there?
Dark.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
5,000?
we have a number for the number of matches we've had.
Whew. It's a lot of matches.
Zerg, soO.
Since nobody's doing anything too crazy, it seems like there's no early pool coming out just yet, I kind of want to take a moment and grieve for all the Protoss fans out there.
Yeah, dude, all our Protoss players are gone.
We had 3 Protoss players in the round of 16, and they played 3 series and they won 1 map.
Yeah, no third race here. This is basically Warcraft 2 or Command & Conquer.
Yeah, just Terrans and Zergs, I think, right now.
We did have a Season 2 Protoss champion.
4 Terrans, 2 Zergs or something like that.
Now, one of the things that's funnier about that is that Protoss have done, generally speaking, very well in Super Tournament, but not in Code S.
That is kind of the odd thing about this, and maybe that's because back in the day, Super Tournament was a bit more of a compressed format.
It was 4 days right in a row, back to back.
Yeah, and right now we're kind of doing this GSL style. It's like GSL Light here at Super Tournament, right? Where it's Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, and oftentimes the reason why people kind of thought that Protoss players succeeded in the Super Tournament format and like the weekend, like DreamHack-esque tournament format, but not in the GSL one, is because if you can really, like, Protoss is so stylistic that if you can have a week to prepare for one opponent in a ZVP or a TVP, you can kind of try to patch all the holes in your gameplay that they might try to exploit. Whereas in a weekend-style tournament, it's kind of, you can't really do a lot of prep for your first match because you also got to prep for the second match. It's more about being a well-rounded player, whereas, you know, pros can just come in guns blazing with all these weird strategies, and even if they come out with something new, you don't really have time to figure out the correct response, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So maybe that's part of why Protoss isn't really succeeding in this Super Tournament, but it is still surprising. You know, I mean, we had many years with Protoss not winning a GSL Code S, but in that time we would have Zest win a Super Tournament. I don't know why I put myself on the spot like I'm going to list out Protoss names. Like, actually, I'm blanking on these right now, but I mean, it feels like every year we would have
Hero
one or
had a lot of success. Classic won one as well.
It felt like every year we would have 1 or 2 Protoss champions for Super Tournament, but not going to be the case right now, as I think it's one of the most Terran and Zerg heavy Super Tournaments ever. Really here at GSL, as not a single Protoss is making the top 8.
So this game, they've both gone for double expands, and so far it's almost completely identical builds.
Yeah, I've been watching this while I speak, and I'm like, yeah, we don't need to talk about
Artos and me have joked about this in the past, where like sometimes it's like you just watch for the change in the production tab. Now, a lot of times somebody has already made a bunch of lings, and so one guy's defending, the other guy is obviously attacking, but nobody's attacking now, which you don't have as often.
No, it's just completely mirrored all the way through 3 bases.
This is going to be a heavy macro ZVC. That doesn't mean that the action won't pick up in a little bit here, but it does mean that, like, you know, we're going to have kind of an interesting mid-game here where we get to really see. Oh, hold on a second. All right, so soO is making lings.
Yeah, this is the first real deviation with Dark adding an evolution chamber and a roundup of drones, whereas soO is now starting to make a lot of lings. Now the third hatch is done. We'll see if he decides to switch it up and go into drone production, and he does. So likely going to be just a little bit of pressure from him. Maybe try to force Dark into a position where he's overreacting, and then soO has a worker advantage. And it's going to be Carapace coming out for Dark.
Yeah, so getting that armor upgrade. And by the way, the baneling's being made here for soO. This doesn't look like anything offensive just yet. No attacking moves here. I mean, you can make banelings just to defend and keep yourself safe. And now the Roach Warrens are going to come down.
I'm a little bit surprised by this. I really thought after we saw that first round of 12 or so lings that soO would kind of try to feign as if he was going to pressure, but no, instead both players just making the exact same amount of army, same amount of drones as we continue the mirror on.
Now soO gets missile attack here, but obviously the armor attack for Dark is going to finish before soO's missile attack.
Yeah, and armor, if lings are mixed in quite a bit, which I think they are prone to do, is, ooh, soO didn't have that baneling on hold position, walks in and detonates on 1 ling.
Yeah, armor is basically better than missile attack if lings are involved.
Almost always it is, because generally lings are going to get involved one way or another, right?
Yeah, you're going to have this excess of minerals.
And Dark now adding in a ton of roaches, followed up by lings. So this might be the first timing attack that we see in this game, as he's going to cut at 47 drones and try and hit a timing with +1 Carapace. And as you said, +1 range attack here for soO is considerably later, maybe 30 seconds or more.
I'm having a lot of fun just seeing how this is going to work out here, because this has been a very passive game with 2 top-tier players, so we get to see if Dark's timing attack is just going to be better.
Well, it should be pretty crisp. I mean, he has had no interruptions in his build whatsoever, so whatever the peak performance of this build is, we're about to see it as he is starting to breach the position here at the third base of soO. A lot of banelings out here for soO, only a handful of roaches though, and these banelings aren't going to find a lot of value as the roaches pick almost all of them off, and now settling Dark with just an overwhelming concave here. The roaches are rallying in from the natural expansion, but oh man, banelings on the spine!
And in the drones. I actually don't think that soO can recover in what is, honestly, a build worth stealing if you're on the ladder, man. I mean, as long as your opponent isn't aggressive, this is a very nice timing setup. It completely shuts down. Notice the missile attack for soO is about to finish, or you could have seen that a second ago.
That's almost an anti-timing. Look, it's even like 10 or 15 seconds away right now.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, about 10 seconds out, and it's like perfectly done by Dark. And I mean, really a masterful game here to start this out. Is set up perfectly, and just a better build order, honestly.
Yeah, this is about as clean as it gets, which is kind of a rare occurrence in a ZVZ.
No,
usually
I know, right?
It's quite down and dirty.
Usually a little bit messier than this, but not when Dark plays. So GG, game 1 goes to Dark as he takes the lead in this best of 5.
It's a fantastic game. Man, our Zerg players watching at home are getting quite a bit of a treat. if you want to go back home and ladder, because like the previous game that we saw where the Marine Rush by Ryung was stopped in its tracks, like that's a great kind of game to look at a nutshell if you're struggling with that kind of cheese on the ladder. And then right here, I mean, oftentimes when we see ZVZs and they lead up to a timing attack, there's some kind of skirmish that happens earlier where things go off the rails and the player has to kind of bounce back to get on track into the timing attack. But that was just as pure as it gets. That was completely by the book. So kind of a nice little insight there into what the optimal timing attack would look like if you have no interruptions.
And we don't have a lot of ZVZs like that.
No.
A lot of times it starts to get ugly pretty quickly here, but Dark very patient and ready for anything that soO would have. But soO tried to play his own kind of macro development timing attack game, and Darks came out exactly fast enough to completely shut soO down. We're going to go now to Cosmic Sapphire here for map number 2. And I want to see if soO tries to do something aggressive or something cheesy here. And keep in mind, Dark usually does one cheese in every best of 5 he ever plays here. So we could have something interesting from him as well.
Game start. Sir, Dark. Zerg, soO, Zerg.
I'm wondering which player is going to mix it up here. Because I think it's unlikely that we see, you know, a mirrored opening and okay, it's going to be soO, 14 pool.
So, you know, one thing about Dark is he's really good at cheesing, but he's also good at stopping cheese. He actually cheeses a decent amount, certainly more than Rogue does.
It's one of those funny things that, you know, if you play a strategy a lot yourself, for example, a cheese, you get really good at defending it because you know what happens in the games that you lose.
You know, like, okay, I can't use these units at this moment or it falls apart, or can't overcommit here or anything like that.
It's one of the reasons why, you know, if you're watching on Twitch, a lot of foreign players that stream will stream their off races, especially Scarlet. Her Protoss is very good.
Oh, yeah.
Her Terra not so much, but her Protoss is very good. And part of that is just, you know, to reach this level of play, you have to know both races, or all 3 races, I should say, kind of inside and out, because, you know, whatever you do in ZVP, when it doesn't work, you're like, okay, well, that works for Protoss.
Yeah.
And so soO kind of going for the early pool here. Now, this isn't like an all-in. There's a hatchery behind it. There isn't gas. It's just a little bit of light pressure, but it's an interesting point that you make about Dark being good at defending early aggression because he's such an aggressive player himself.
He has such insane holds here. Now, he's going around the Overlord. And the idea here is that maybe Dark makes an extra drone or 2, which would only cause more damage once the Lings get there. He sees the Lings now.
Yeah, this Overlord will spawn it, but not as much time to react as he would if the first Overlord had spotted it outside the natural expansion. So these Lings are going to come in, and we'll see if they're able to get any damage. It's unlikely they will get us around on a Queen, as the one of the natural is only partway done. It's really the main base they're looking for, and if he can get 1 or 2 drone kills, he's going to be really happy with it.
So far, he's done a pretty good job controlling these drones.
Wow.
My God.
1 drone goes down.
1 drone, okay.
And that's 3 larvae out of soO. So that's a very big win there for Dark, as I think at least a handful of those drones, at least 2 of them were like 1 hit away from going down.
Yeah, you want to have this guy's mouse settings, man. Just completely perfectly clicked on each one and then got it out in time.
It's like what you would see like a supercomputer playing StarCraft 2 and microing with like an uncapped APM. That's how they would defend 6 Lings coming into the main base.
It will never let the drone ever be around enough in enough time to be killed there. So, you know, he's going to just run in, and I think he wants to scout.
Yeah, well, Dark had to make these Zerglings no matter what because of the ones that came into his main base, right? So now he's just going to try and get whatever value he can out of them, and if he can get 1 drone kill, that's fine and dandy for him.
Now there's a 4-worker lead here. They're both droning on either side, but Dark is ahead in those few workers.
Well, soO actually ahead. 3 workers.
I'm sorry,
no,
soO's ahead.
I had this in game 1.
I don't know why
no,
I did
had
that.
the same thing in game number 1.
Yeah.
I think it was because like blue was on, like the colors like didn't coordinate with like top and bottom.
Oh,
it was like really messed with my head. But yeah, I think perhaps soO, like he only got 1 drone kill, but Dark made like, what was that, 8 Zerglings, and soO only made 6. So the math is kind of funny in ZVZs the way it goes.
But Dark's 3rd hatchery is almost done.
Yeah, and he's starting lair as well.
Yeah.
Both players, in fact.
And that this is cool. It looks like when he saw the setup at the entrance, he said, okay, you're going to 2-base power with roaches, so I'm just going to 3-base match you with roaches.
Ah, that is a good insight there.
And so he says, all right, I'm going to get the same tech as you with upgrades and, you know, getting the Roach Warren, of course. And then I'm just going to get a 3rd base up more quickly.
Yeah, and Dark even has a slight upgrade timing advantage, which is definitely favorable for him. But if I'm not mistaken, did soO make 2 evolution chambers in front of his natural, or is one of those the Warren?
Oh, you know what?
I'm not sure.
Here's the problem. If he made 2 Evo chambers, he's not upgrading out of both. I thought it was 1. The pool's back there, and so I think the entrance,
Okay,
so it's Roach Warren and Evo chamber. So I think this is just better here for Dark.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the workers kind of tell the story right now. 51 to 41. 3rd base already saturated here for Dark.
He gets his other 2 gases over at the 3rd. That's interesting, instead of getting 1 at the natural.
Huh.
I don't know what to make of that. Maybe you know, you see that many gases out there, you think there's going to be more tech.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You know, yeah, I don't know.
Do you even need 5 gases on this? Maybe
I
he's doing. I was gonna say maybe he's doing something where he just puts 2 workers on each gas because it's more efficient. But drone they have to actually sacrifice drones to make their gases, so I don't think that's it.
I'm actually not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Let's see. Does he have 2 in
fully
there?
saturated.
No.
It's a lot of gas.
Seems like a lot of gas for Roach.
Just wants more Ravagers, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What happens is because you're fighting Roach versus Roach, you just need to make sure that every injured Roach is a Ravager.
Yeah, that's probably what the logic is. The scary thing is, if soO is able to make a timing work before a lot of those Ravagers are out, it could be deadly, because in terms of raw numbers, he's been a lot more mineral heavy. He should have more, especially right now, 41 workers to 58. 22 Roaches to 17 now. soO moving across the map. All the upgrades are finishing at the same times for both players. Just a slight speed advantage here for soO. That's already been neutralized. Is squaring off here in the middle, and although soO has more, Dark's rally is closer, so he is able to deflect this without too much of an engagement. And if soO just walks back home and re-drones, which he is, this is a little concerning because Dark had that worker advantage for a considerable amount of time.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's also gas pocketed for a big Muta switch here.
Huh, I guess he
had... Spire's coming down. Yeah. You might as well get ahead in that sense, right?
Yeah, I guess he could have either gone for the Ravagers if he needed to repair his Roaches or go into Spire. Maybe it's a little flexible that way. Loving what we're seeing out of Dark.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dark is just, you know, it's the quintessential Zerg style of just reacting and just kind of staying ahead.
Yeah, it just feels like he's playing a slightly tighter game than soO is. And in a mirror matchup, that matters a lot because there isn't as many, how do you say, discrepancies in, like, you like with a Terran and like a Protoss, they have a lot of differences, in Zergs they don't. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know where I was going with that one. I lost the word.
I feel like it's just interesting to watch him sort of, like, first of all, the fact that attack from soO comes out and, like, literally Dark basically controls that perfectly, where it's like, well, that just won't work against me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that was well done by him.
And then when he holds it off almost perfectly, he could have, I guess, technically not lost a drone, right? But
asymmetry is what I was going to say. There is not much asymmetry in a mirror matchup, so having a much tighter build as Dark has had this game is a very big deal here. And now soO going to move across the map. We'll see if he's able to get some damage done. 11 more Roaches in production, but Dark is already starting Mutas. And with soO only having 4 Ravagers, those are going to be juicy targets for the Mutas once they pop.
Yeah, and the Mutas are going to be, you know, the real play that's just going to throw soO into a lot of peril here. Because now he can, basically Dark can pick a fight that's going to be convenient for him.
Oh, wow.
I got to say, I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing Biles hit the Mutas, but I guess if you don't micro them, that is what happens. But now he can chase him away. 4 bases coming here for Dark. No 4th started yet here for soO. And, you know, I love that he didn't even overmake Mutas. 4 or 5 is all you need. Now he can't be attacked.
Yeah, he can clean up all the Overlords on the map, remove the vision there for soO, and also soO loses map control. He can't be on the map with his Roaches and Ravagers because the Ravagers will just get picked off by these Mutas. It's really nice. It's kind of like an Oracle in PBZ,
sure,
you know? It
yeah.
kind of fills the same role here.
And now a Hydra Den is being made, but it seems like with the maxed out supply, maybe there's an opportunity for Dark to try to trade his supply into the opponent.
And although Dark has those 5 Mutas, the Roach and the Ravager counts are identical right now. 55 Roaches for each player as Dark is pushing up this ramp, and soO is going for a flank, but Dark just
Dark may have come in
so quickly.
fast, actually, that he got to fight off a lot of that. Now the surround here from soO is pretty good, but the thing with Dark is he's trading out supply right now. That fourth base, by the way, is just now finished.
I can see that surround there for soO finally paying dividends there at the tail end of that fight. For a moment, it was scary because of how quickly Dark breached that position at the top of the ramp. Didn't give soO any time to react. And now with the superior economy, Dark could be the faster one to remax here. 182 supply to 178. soO is taking his fourth base. Carapace upgrade now coming in for Dark. And adding on more gases. Man, I gotta say, we've been giving Dark a lot of props here for playing a tighter game, but some of the best ZVZ we've seen out of soO in a while. He's hanging in it.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty impressive job. I do worry that Dark is just going to continue to keep his lead. We've got another max out coming over here. This time it's this attack is directed over towards this base at the far right. And that would be the fourth base. By the way, I think there's a drone getting ready to set up a fifth.
Yeah, it looks like that. As Dark now coming in over here at the fourth base, really wants to shut this down, and in fact, just had a handful of roaches attack the hatchery while he defends in this concave, and he's just going to skirt out of this position now. Dude. So he loses some army, but that's a great trade for him.
And that's all he has to do, is just keep killing off this base over and over again.
Yeah, and the natural expansion, looking at the minimap too, we either have a group of roaches or the mutas just causing even more trouble. They're killing creep tumors on that side of the map.
And he basically doesn't have to fight this if he doesn't want to, right? So he can kind of run away.
Yeah, these armies, they have the same movement speed off creep, so Dark is able to navigate away if he wants to. And right now he's just keeping the army for soO kind of cluster over here on the right side as he remaxes back at home. And now we have the infestation pit. Hive has started.
And, you know, that base, it's being mined from. He's taken both the gases from that as well. We have, you know, the Hive and the Lurker Den started up here.
Yeah, Dark is really finishing out his tech tree here, going up into the Hive, and it feels like soO kind of has to make something happen right now. 3 bases versus 4 with a inferior tech, but with both players matched on Roach Ravager right now, I mean, yes, soO does have some Hydralisks, but not a lot, only a handful, and that's not going to add enough DPS to overcome the faster reinforcement advantage that Dark has here on the defense.
Yeah, and I think this attack from here, I don't think this is going to work out too well for soO. He is just eating so many biles trying to force a fight right now. I think we may see, well, hold on, he's going to keep trying to push in.
Yeah, supplies right now in the favor of soO, so he is making some damage work, but you're right, those biles have been deadly. This fight would have been much cleaner for soO if he was able to avoid those, and now the remax coming in for Dark will hit faster than soO's remax, and the question is, will soO actually be able to get anything done here as Dark is pushing him all the way back, and the supplies, they do favor soO. He does have the better resource bank as well, but keep in mind that that's because Dark is finishing out his tech tree right now back at home.
Yeah, it does seem like the tug of war is beginning to be won here by soO. He's going to try to come in once more. Supplies frighteningly low right now here for Dark, but again, the base stays up. The drones aren't killed off. Very different techs, though. Very gas intense here from Dark. soO is really trying to just go for the kill move here. So it's going to be more about whether or not Dark can survive this and weather the storm.
Yeah, and Dark, for whatever reason on those 4 bases, I thought he had more workers than he actually does. I know that he lost a little bit in that fight at the 3rd, but right now it's only 57 workers for 61. So, man, Tasis, I'm starting to really like this position for soO. If he's able to have 1 or 2 more good fights.
Yeah, if he can get the closer here and kind of push into this base, I think he can win this game. Dark's done a really good job, but Dark may have gotten a little bit too greedy with the tech here, not respecting that. Really, soO is almost forced into this position once he lost that initial, you know, timing attack there.
Yeah, Dark going to retreat into a more defensive concave over here between the 3rd base and the natural expansion as he's just going to cede this base, and now it's Dark that's going into 3 bases, and man, soO's kind of turned this game on its head. I think you hit the nail on the head right there with Dark just getting a little bit too greedy with the tech, and now it's 200 supply to 156. soO continuing to push forward. Fighting back against those biles, but
hold position, lurkers!
Oh,
nicely
man.
Done. Misses the lurkers there, too. Yeah, the lurkers were a good play. You could see, had he gotten lurkers earlier, that would have been nice, but because he tried to tech so quickly, it gave an opening there for soO to try to come out. The Dark's not dead yet, but soO is certainly in a winning position.
Yeah, soO now on 4 bases to the 3 of Dark, and Dark in this moment just kind of looking to stabilize here with these lurkers, and soO Feels like he needs a response for it. He's pulling back, and yeah, Nidus.
Okay, so does he have an Overlord hidden somewhere that could set this up? Because I don't see it on the mini-map.
I don't see anything either. Oh, there's a Speed Overlord at the 2 o'clock right now.
Yeah,
moving towards 3.
Maybe he goes into the main?
Could go into the main. Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. So this here is so speedy.
There's no easy way to get back into the main in time. The Nidus should be done by now, so he needs to start it. Oh, I think that soO's figured this out.
Yeah, soO has a very good idea of what's going on. Has a Spine Crawler starting it already. Changeling coming in. Will get cleaned up by these roaches. And soO, now that he has 4 Overseers to spot those lurkers, is gearing up for yet another attack. Dark has been able to fight his way back up to 175 supply.
He's got to cancel this. There's no way he can keep this up. So he does. Backs up. Again, more nice biles connecting there. Can he make the Nidus outside the 4th, I wonder?
Perhaps, but right now he has to focus on defending here. And Dark has a very healthy number of lurkers, so I feel like soO kind of needs to advance his tech tree just a bit, so that Hive is finishing up for him as well.
The Overseer is going to go now down to 6 o'clock, where there is a base being taken. Oh, kind of hidden in plain sight, but it's spotted.
Now it's truly in plain sight as the Queens see it. soO, though, it seems like he's focused on this fight right now as the lurkers are creeping forward just a bit here.
Well, he's going to go for a push.
Well, he has a good timing window for it now. This Nidus is so awkward.
Yeah, I think he wanted to try to just basically make this like a distraction.
Kind of an awkward little dance we're doing over here in the middle of the map.
Yeah, no kidding.
soO had the economic edge for a fair bit of this game, but lurker count for Dark right now is so high, but at the same time, it's difficult to really make anything happen with that because soO can micro just like this, and it's going to be a very slow push. It's almost like jumping with Spine Crawlers or Siege Tanks, and all right, this is a big play here from Dark, coming with 2 lurkers on that 4th base there of soO, and also at the same time trying to push in the mid field. 8 drones going down as Dark, for the first time in a long time, taking a supply lead here.
Oh my god, the lurker lives. How hilarious. So he's going to keep trying to push in here. Now, the lurkers are hard to deal with, man. And he's kind of just going around. This hat-trick could go down. Dude, this is going to be insane. If he can actually win this game, if Dark can win after being in such a bad spot, I don't even know what to say.
Well, he's playing this positionally so smart with these lurkers. He's just kind of bottling soO up over in these 3 bases, and at the same time, he's taking out the 4 barely survives.
Okay, lurkers there. He can't make any headway in that position. A lot of lurkers out here. He probably needs to try to navigate up to the 3 o'clock spot here. Is soO going to be fast enough to try to get in his way? It looks like right now soO could get down there and try to, wall this off. The thing is, you just need like 1 or 2 shots in there.
Yeah, he even doesn't even need to attack it. Just needs the biles to pop off.
That's a good point. Yeah, he could just come in there and... Yeah, here we go.
Actually trying to bile the lurkers.
Oh, really?
He takes 1 down, and soO at the same time is going to try and breach the top of this ramp, and he loses a lot of units doing that. There's a ton of lurkers here for Dark.
I cannot believe he didn't bile the hatchery. I feel like that's such a better move. Oh, whoa. Bad click there. Really bad.
That's like a StarCraft 1 lurker hit there on Marines or something. That's a lot of bloodshed.
Okay, so he's going to come around here and try to isolate his main.
Oh, Dark is playing this positionally so well.
He can get on the Evo chamber too. The lurkers are now going to make that, I think, unapproachable position.
That lurker's setting up in a concave here. That's going to be a big hit as he continues to work his way back, getting out of the blinding cloud. soO only has 2 Vipers, so he's kind of strained over here in energy, and the Nidus Worm going off in the main base of soO at the same time.
Oh my god, this is crazy. Go over there. Thank you.
Dark is just playing this beautifully tasteless.
Dark is just like so much better. It's actually like inspiring. Now the Queens are going to come in here, and he's going to rot the main from the inside out. He can take out the Evo Chamber. He takes out the Roach Warren, by the way. soO, I mean, this is a humiliating defeat after he had fought back so well when Dark took the lead.
Oh, the Queens are going to take out the Vipers here for soO as everything's kind of starting to fall apart. The main base is forfeit. The 4th base on low HP. The natural now getting breached. Lurker is set up between the natural and the 3rd bases. Dark is just in full control of this game, and we're going to be seeing 2-0 heading into Game 3.
I mean, I got to say, Dark is a master. I mean, that's just insane to me. What a great game that was in general. Now, soO came out there with a rush. Dark shut it down. He had a lead for most of the game. and basically forced soO onto 3 bases. soO then fought back very well, got Dark onto 3 bases while soO took 5. Dark just, he laid low, he got into that lurker tech, and then basically played a pretty ingenious positional game where he just kept finding each weak spot, and he was very quick about moving it. He got the lurkers to where they needed to be. And, soO just wasn't really keeping up with what he needed to do back there. He got his own lurkers out, but didn't have them defending anything. Crazy victory there by Dark.
Yeah, soO was able to successfully greed check Dark a little bit as he was filling out the tech tree perhaps faster than was safe. And soO had a lot of momentum behind that, but Dark just played a very technical game, very positional with lurkers, and was able to kind of grind it out almost similar to the way you would see a Terran player do with siege tanks, just navigating the map perfectly, cutting off soO at every angle, and Dark just feels like he's got all the wind behind him right now after that game comeback. And we're going to go into set number 3 here. Dark on match point.
Pretty crazy.
Dark.
This could be another 3-0.
It could be.
What time is it right now? We started at 5. 7:13.
2 hours and 13 minutes.
Wow. Super Tournament is usually much longer than a day.
soO.
I really liked what we saw of soO in that game, by the way. All the way through the mid game, soO kind of looked like his old self, the way he was playing it. I mean, there were a little bit of hiccups here and there, but he had the right intuition that Dark was playing a little bit greedy. He goes for a push, he gets a ton of damage in, he wipes Dark's army, he takes out the 3rd base, puts Dark back on a 3-base economy, and Dark just barely by the skin of his teeth is able to get lurkers out to defend. And from there, maybe soO was just a little bit slow on going into the lurker transition, because it felt like from that spot he was in just full control of the game if he was able to, not let Dark claw his way back with lurkers.
So it's a quick pool again. 6 lings. In this case, it's hatch, gas, pool. That's normal, of course. So, I'm interested that he went for a quick pool again.
He was making 8 this time. So a little bit more aggressive than we saw in the previous map.
Will he make 10? Let's see. 10. All right. So it's a different build. Is there a drone with the army? Is there anything?
I don't think so. You're wondering if there's like going to be a spine crawler going down or something?
I don't know this specific rush in ZVZ. Okay, so he
He's
just
still
continues to
making
make lings. So, I mean, obviously. Oh, so this is probably going to be targeted towards the hatchery.
And he's continuing to rally them too. For a moment, I was wondering whether he would do the same thing, but just only show 6 lings and then pull them and come with a big timing. But he has no shame. He's just full rallying over here across the map. And Dark going for the gas pull is a little bit greedy. He's going to have to pull drones to try and fight this. This is going to be a pure micro battle, but that's a lot of Zerglings, Tasteless.
Yes, it is. The drone is, Dark has been pretty good at microing his drones.
That's a lot of DPS coming out of these Zerglings, though. And right now, Dark is trying to buy time for this Queen and the Lings to come out so that he can fight together. And now, here we go. 6 Lings joining the fray. 2 more hatch from this Larva, the natural expansion.
Just really good control here, by the way, from Dark. How many drones have been killed?
I think one or maybe 2. So
Okay.
this has been phenomenal control from Dark yet again. As you said it there in game number 1, just so good in these early game situations. Like that drone pull, he's not trying to take a fight with the Zerglings. He's just making it so they can't kill the hatchery.
Right.
He's buying himself time to get Queens out, to get Zerglings out, because once those units join the drones in the natural expansion, soO is suddenly massively outnumbered.
Now, Ling speed starts. Drones are being made right now for soO. Now, Ling speed versus no Ling speed. I mean, the speedlings are so much better. So, again, I feel like this entire best of 5 is just like a case study of like a guy that knows how to react with Dark. So
Dark's going to go all in off of this, I think.
I think you might be right. So he basically
lings.
holds it and he says, okay, so I'm in this position now. How do I navigate this? What do I do?
Yeah, and this might be a checkmate move unless soO is able to somehow clog this ramp. Because as you said, speedlings are going to be so much better than slowlings here.
Yeah, and it's only natural that soO would be trying to, crank out as many drones as possible after a disappointing rush. And, it's funny, we don't have a lot of games that end in speedlings. It's kind of like a StarCraft 1 ZVZ.
He now sees lings coming down the ramp. He missed the big ball of lings, but these are speedlings. They're going to be pouncing on this position
Well,
so quickly. Look at him just come across the map right now.
He's going to try to barricade this. Queens are, oh no.
Yeah.
Queens coming? No,
So
no.
2 Evolution Chambers and a Roach Warren coming down here for soO. There are 3 Queens behind this wall and a number of Lings as well, and he's going to have to hold on as best he can. Another Evolution Chamber going to go down behind this Queen, kind of like a Protoss player with a pylon trying to plug the wall, but it's a lot of Zerglings coming in, Tasteless.
He's not really damaging that Queen over there.
Whoa!
What?
Look at that. I didn't even know you could do that! Creep timber trick and he got behind the wall?
That was crazy.
That was insane. But
All
this
right.
Roach Warren's going to go down. Roach Warren falls. But are there enough Lings? I don't know if he's going to get enough surface area.
Well, there's got to be more Lings about to hatch here. 2 Queens go down.
Oh, this is so close, Tasteless. That might be enough. Drone's able to hold
Whoa,
this.
second.
Trying to get the wall back up is soO, but the Roach Warren not able to go down. More Lings flooding in now as drones are fighting and they're getting traded out. 6 drones already going down as Lings are coming out, but keep in mind, soO does not yet have speed. Oh, he catches him on the ramp. He blocks him from going into the main base. The wall going back up once again. Lings trying to defend that there on the natural ramp, and man, soO might have a miracle hold here.
Queen goes down again here. More Lings are coming. A little bit disorganized there by Dark. Roach Warren started here as well, by the way. Now
29 drones to 18.
So Ling speed just now starts to be upgraded here for soO.
But
So-
he has such a numbers advantage, I don't know if it's going to matter, and he's already plugged the wall in again.
No, I think that this should be a game soO can win, but let's not give up on him just yet. The thing is, he could use his speed Lings, keep running around in circles, attack the front, and then maybe come from behind. No, I guess not. I stand corrected. He's making drones. The rush is over.
Making drones, starting a 3rd hatchery, but right now it's 21 workers to 28, so soO has a fantastic advantage here after these openings, and man, that was such a technical defense there at the natural ramp. I actually didn't even know that you could walk through the wall like that with a Queen.
Yeah, that was very cool. Now, he's still moving around with these Lings. He can check and see what's upgraded. He sees everything that's going on here.
Oh, he gets the surround there with the drones.
Beautifully done. The drone count, by the way, is 31 to 32 now. So soO just now squeezed out 1 more drone.
Dark doing his best to come back economically in this one, but it's a 10 supply advantage right now in the favor of soO. And keep in mind, it's not only the supply advantage that he has, but 2 Evolution Chambers cranking out upgrades as well. There's Dark now adding in Baneling Nests, his 1st Evolution Chamber. And it seems like soO's going to try and see what he can do to deny this 3rd base.
Okay, so the Lings are going to come up now. This is going to be right as the Banelings finish. Whoa!
Scary moment there as the Lings with the ramp spot those Banelings, and
Yeah, he can't stay there if those Banelings are going to be out. Problem is he also can't leave his base if those Banelings are going to be out.
yeah, soO just going to take a 3rd base back at home as well. As Dark's going to try going for a run by. That hole will be plugged though. The Queen got there at the last second.
Hold on, the Banes are going to be back here to try to deny the Lings from coming forward.
Oh, the Queens actually get surrounded there by those Zerglings. So that's 2 Queens with a lot of transfuses going down, but the Roaches popping here for soO are going to be kind of the anchor here on his defense at this point. Doesn't feel like Dark is going to be able to breach this position, and for a second I was wondering if he's going to be droning behind this, but he's actually just finished a round of 22 more Lings, so he has a lot committed to this attack.
And 14 more coming as well. Started missile attack for a second, to cancel it. I think that was a misclick. But basically, he's trying to punish soO, who's trying to expand out here.
I don't think he'll be able to right now. These are going to be these are 1/1 Lings right now for soO. He has the Carapace upgrade. The Roaches sniping some of these Banelings. Actually, no, the Banelings get in.
Banelings are not detonating.
Kind of anticlimactic with how long those Banelings stayed alive.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Just going to clean this up.
Banelings
And
bounced around like they were in a pinball machine for a little bit instead of going off.
had a little bit of a series here, man. That's a nice win there from soO. That was
a good game.
That was a great defense there on the natural ramp.
I'll tell you though, Dark is very scary. I like the way he approached that, just doing that all in from that moment. I think expecting, for the Dark to just try to drone up. But then instead, Dark just went and tried to pull the trigger. That Overlord did spot the Lings, so he was a little bit slow to move out like that. Man.
A very technical defense there from soO. He was barely able to hold on to that natural ramp. This is tournament life here at Super Tournament. Kind of hangs on a thread right now. One more match point game before we can go to set 5 as Dark is leading this one 2-1.
Inside and Out is going to be our next map. And yeah, let's see what can happen here. Again, Dark, I think, played a very strong 2 first games here. soO, can hang, but he really has to work, right, to get these wins. He went for a quick pool opening again that game. Will he try something similar? I don't know how many different branches there are for pool first here in the matchup. But anyways, our game's now lit up. We're going to go into game 4 now, our first not 3-0 in today's GSL Super Tournament.
Game start. Zerg, Dark.
Oh boy. Surprised we're actually doing the introductions right now because Dark is going for a 12 pool. At least I think it's Dark.
Yeah, it should be Dark. He's in the blue.
Names haven't loaded in just yet.
So Dark's going to give him a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah,
now,
a little bit.
Pool started here for soO as well. So this is one of the funny things because, you know, this whole build is intended for you to get there and start to deal with their hatchery or kill their drones. But we have two guys both going for a pool first. It could be a pretty action-packed game here.
Yeah, in this case, I would kind of give the edge to soO just because he has a little bit more economy behind his pool. And because it is pool first, it's be a long time for Dark to actually get those links across the map. And by then, I mean, the pool discrepancy is pretty much nullified. Actually, even taking a gas is Dark. That surprises me.
Well, this is super aggro.
Yeah,
This is not like aggression in to make drones. So he's going to have the hatchery coming down here. But, you know, getting the gas fast, I mean, you can get link speed very, very quickly.
And, we'll see how much of this hatchery is actually the macro and how much of it's actually just to have more larvae to attack with.
I think so. It's like you have the money to get another hatchery no matter what, so you might as well put it there.
And soO is going to see these lings moving across the map, so he has a very good idea of exactly what's coming his way, and I feel like he's going to be happy with this right now. 6 Zerglings already back at home, defending the faster hatchery here for soO.
We don't have the upgrades yet. We have 50 gas soaked up so far from that geyser. Now again, if you're going to go for more aggression, which I have to imagine that's what he's going to do here with the gas play, you don't want to drop lings off early on, because once your lings get the upgrades here, you're going to have a lot, you know, that you can do with this. So he does start link speed. So, you know, it's possible he may be telegraphing his intentions by not being too aggro with the lings, but the queen comes out, so now I guess you wouldn't want to try to overextend at all.
Yeah, and now Dark restarts Zergling production. 2 more coming. And maybe if you're Dark in this position, you try to do something similar to the previous game, and that you feign that you're actually pulling way more lings.
Yeah,
and then once Zergling speed is done, just everything comes.
I think you see this number of lings, you don't worry, right? You say, okay, we're fine.
Yeah, we made an equivalent number of lings. Our economies are probably very similar.
And ling speed's halfway done, so he's going to have probably a little bit more than the group of lings that we see outside of his base. And what we want to watch for on production over here, the production tab, I mean, is just if drones keep coming out. See, another 2 drones were just made there by soO. So soO's feeling comfortable. He's feeling confident. There's 2 overlords here to spot for when the 3rd base would be, or if any lings come out. The link speed is, what is it, about 85% done.
Yeah, he's going to be moving out very soon because I feel like once speed finishes, and actually looking at the mini-map, you can tell that Dark is trying to move the Zerglings that he had on the map to some place where soO doesn't have vision, so he doesn't know that speed is done until the last possible moment. All right, here it comes. Right. There's a lot of Zerglings.
Comes out. soO's going to have literally seconds to react to this.
Oh, he's going to try and block the wall.
Okay, he doesn't manage to interrupt the wall in over there, but he does start to chip away at things. Okay, and he does get through.
Yeah, he does get through the wall. The
Here
drone's not able to build the evolution chamber. The Zerglings are in. They're getting a surround on 2 of the queens. soO knows he won't be able to get the wall up. He cancels these buildings, but it might be too little too late as the Zerglings continue to flood in right now. soO trying to make any lings he can, trying to have the most defensive position over here in the corner of the mineral patch with the drones, but the army supply 24-6, and that's going to be it. GG. Dark with an absolute killer move there. Going for the throw on match point.
And he basically wanted to win that game the way he couldn't win game 3. So funny. He's like, oh, it didn't work. Well, let me just try it one more time. I'll do it right this time. But a great series so far. I think by far the best series we've had all day.
Yeah, I mean, I love what we saw out of soO there. He, Game 1, Game 2, he really made a show of it. He even got a map win as soO kind of slowly returning to form here after returning from military service. I feel like, I mean, it's not the best end to the year, but it's better than nothing, right? And he could look forward to 2023.
Having a pretty intense fight versus Dark in a best of 5 and taking a game off him, no shame in that. We're going to go to an interview now, see how Dark's feeling.
In a ZVZ, Dark defeats soO 3-1 to move on to round of 8. Congratulations, thank you.
자, 아프리카 TV 챔피언스컵 우승 기세를 이어서
And Dark, you recently won the Africa TV Champions Cup, and now you're making it to the GSL SuperTournament round of 8. How do you feel?
일단 준비해온 대로 잘 풀렸고.
Well, first of all, everything went as planned, and I was pretty lucky today. So I'm really happy that I won easier than I expected.
다소 충격적이었던 박용 선수의 시즌 3 20강 탈락 이후에
So in season 3, you were eliminated in the round of 24, which was a big upset for the fans.
사실 굉장히 오랜만에 보는데
And I'm seeing you after a long time.
일부러 기르신 건지 아니면
And you have a mustache on and a beard. So what is this about? So I want to hear the background behind this.
지금 아니면 기를 수 없다고 생각하고 있고.
I feel like this was the time I grow some beard. If I go to the army, I have to shave off my head and my beard. So I think this is the only time I have that I can enjoy this kind of thing. It looks good on you, Dark.
자, 오늘 경기 내용 확인을 해보겠습니다.
So let's take a look at the results. In Cosmic Sapphire, after a lot of skirmishes, you're able to gain the win after a neck-and-neck match.
상대가 땅굴을 계속 의식을
The opponent
결국 박용
was pretty aware of you going for the Nidus, but then when you use the Nidus, it's clearly different from other players.
그 가시지옥 준비하기 전에 제 3멀티가 밀렸으면 안 되는 상황인데.
I mean, before I got the lurkers, my expansion should have not been pushed, but then things started going out of hand. I was pretty scared, and the score was kind of like 5-5. And then I went for the Judgment Cold, I went for the Nidus, and then it turned out to be pretty effective. In the fourth game, you went for the spawning pool first. And so what was the reason behind the build? Well, I lost in terms of build, and I was kind of devastated. And when the Zerglings were rushing towards the enemy base, the Overlord didn't spot them, and that was pretty fortunate for me. And what a performance for you, Dark, today. And this year, Dark, you were almost capable of winning every tournament because you had such capability. And your form has been looking so amazing. You won the DreamHack Valencia and all the other accomplishments. So I'm sure you had a lot of disappointment after the GSL elimination. So what about this tournament? Well, right now my games have been going well, so I have good expectations for this tournament. I'm gonna try to wash away disappointment in this tournament. And Dark said he's gonna continue his momentum from Africa TV Champions Cup. And your opponent will be Cure or RagnaroK in the round of 8. So who do you prefer to play against? A TVZ, a ZVZ or ZVT? Well, they're both very tricky opponents. If I can win the round of 8, I think it's going to be smooth sailing from then on. And Bunny, meanwhile, he said he's very scared of you. So what do you think about that? Well, Bunny has been in tremendous form these days. Bunny is looking so strong. But I still didn't expect Hero to get eliminated by him today. So I think it's better that I'm gonna play against Bunny in the later rounds if I get to meet him, because Hero is a scary opponent.
자, 슈퍼토너먼트에서 좋은 경기력 쏟아 보여주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
We look forward to seeing amazing performance from you in the Super Tournament. So anything else you want to say? Well, there are a lot of fans here today, and despite the cold weather, I'm really grateful to the fans for coming down here. And it was a ZVZ today, so I'm a little, I feel a little sorry for the fans because it was like a rock paper scissors game. But in the later rounds, I'll try to show amazing performance. Once again, congratulations to Dark. Thank you. And that was the interview with Dark. Dark has just beat soO, and now all we are awaiting is the last game of last match of tonight.